Welcome back as we take you to a very deep and amazing journey of relaxation of bedtime story. Please like and subscribe to the channel so we can get your request on a story you want to listen to. Before we start, make sure you are very comfortable and in a very warm spot. Take a deep breath and make sure to focus your mind entirely on your breathing, forgetting about your worries in this short while, as you get the best treatment you can give your brain. Okay, let's begin. In the enchanted realm of Neverland, where the stars shimmered like scattered diamonds across a velvet night sky, Peter Pan soared above the treetops, his laughter echoing through the cool, whispering breeze. The island was alive with magic under the moonlight, its jagged cliffs and hidden coves glowing with an otherworldly luminescence that seemed to hum with ancient secrets. Peter, clad in his tattered green tunic, darted between clouds tinged with silver, his shadow trailing behind like a mischievous companion. Beside him flew Tinker Bell, her golden pixie dust trailing in spirals, casting a faint, glittering path that lit up the dark. They were on a quest this night, not for treasure or battle, but for something far more elusive, a forgotten dream that had slipped through the cracks of Neverland's endless wonder. The dream, Peter had heard from the whispering winds, was trapped in the heart of the island, guarded by a mysterious entity known only as the Keeper of Echoes. This being, neither friend nor foe, was said to weave memories into the fabric of the night, preserving them for those brave enough to seek them. Peter, ever curious and fearless, felt a pull toward this mystery, as if the dream called to him across the shadowy lagoons and misty meadows. The air was thick with the scent of wildflowers and salt from the nearby sea, mingling with the earthy aroma of moss-covered stones that lined the paths below. As Peter and Tinker Bell descended toward the whispering woods, the trees seemed to lean in close, their gnarled branches forming a canopy that filtered the starlight into dappled patterns on the forest floor. The rustle of leaves sounded like soft murmurs, as if the woods themselves were sharing tales of old under the cover of darkness. Tinker Bell's light flickered with excitement, illuminating tiny creatures that skittered among the roots, fireflies with wings of glass, and moths with patterns like miniature constellations. Peter's bare feet brushed against the cool, dewy grass as he landed, his eyes scanning the shadows for any sign of the keeper. Somewhere in the distance, a night owl hooted, its call blending with the gentle lapping of waves against the shore, creating a symphony of the evening that wrapped the island in a serene, dreamlike haze. The quest felt like a puzzle, each step forward revealing a new piece of the enigma, and Peter's heart raced with the thrill of discovery. He whispered to Tinker Bell, his voice barely audible over the rustling foliage, that they must tread lightly, for the Keeper of Echoes was said to guard not just dreams, but the very essence of what made Neverland a place of endless imagination. As they ventured deeper, the air grew cooler, carrying the faint tang of pine and the sweet decay of fallen leaves, a reminder of the cycles that even a timeless land could not escape. The path ahead twisted and turned, leading them to a clearing where the moonlight pooled like liquid silver, illuminating a circle of ancient stones carved with symbols that glowed faintly blue. Peter felt a tingle of magic in the air, a sensation like the brush of a feather against his skin, as if the stones themselves were alive with the memories of countless nights. Tinker Bell hovered close, her tiny form casting a warm golden glow against the eerie blue, and together they stepped into the circle, ready to face whatever guardian awaited them. The night seemed to hold its breath, the usual sounds of the forest falling silent, replaced by a low hum that vibrated through the ground, as if the island itself was awakening to witness their daring. Peter's green eyes sparkled with determination, reflecting the starlight above, as he prepared to call out to the keeper, hoping to barter for the lost dream that had drawn them here. The journey through Neverland's heart was only beginning, and under the vast, twinkling canopy of the night sky, anything seemed possible. Their adventure was a tapestry woven from the threads of fantasy and wonder, a tale unfolding in the quiet hours when the world seemed to sleep, yet Neverland pulsed with life. The mystery of the dream, the allure of the unknown, and the magic of the island under the pale glow of the moon created a moment suspended in time, where every shadow held a story, and every whisper promised a revelation. As they stood in the glowing circle, the air shimmered with potential, and Peter knew that this night would be etched into the annals of Neverland's endless lore, a chapter of courage and curiosity beneath the eternal stars. The path forward was uncertain, but with Tinker Bell by his side and the magic of the night as their guide, Peter felt ready to unravel the secrets that lay hidden in the heart of the island. The dream they sought was more than a fleeting vision. It was a key to understanding the deeper magic that bound Neverland together, a magic that thrived in the stillness of the evening, when the world was cloaked in dreams and shadows. And so, with the moonlight as their lantern and the night as their canvas, they pressed onward, eager to meet the keeper and claim the treasure of a forgotten reverie. As Peter Pan and Tinker Bell stood within the circle of ancient stones, the low hum beneath their feet grew stronger, vibrating through their bones like a heartbeat of the island itself. The moonlight, sharp and clear, cast long shadows across the clearing, making the carved symbols on the stones pulse with a ghostly blue light, as if they were alive with forgotten stories of the night. Peter's keen eyes darted around, searching for any sign of the Keeper of Echoes, while Tinker Bell's golden glow flickered nervously, illuminating the edges of the circle where the darkness seemed to creep closer, thick with unseen eyes. A sudden gust of wind swept through the whispering woods, carrying with it the scent of damp earth and the faint, bittersweet tang of night-blooming jasmine, rustling the leaves above into a chorus of hushed secrets. The air grew heavy, charged with an electric anticipation, and Peter felt the hair on the back of his neck stand up as a figure began to materialize at the center of the circle, a towering silhouette woven from mist and shadow, its form shifting like smoke under the starlit sky. The Keeper of Echoes, neither man nor beast, spoke in a voice that echoed like a distant dream, resonating deep within Peter's chest, asking why they sought the lost vision that had been sealed away for centuries. Its eyes, if they could be called that, were twin pools of endless night, reflecting the constellations above, and they seemed to pierce through Peter, unraveling his every thought. Tinker Bell darted behind Peter's shoulder, her light dimming slightly in the presence of such ancient power, but Peter stood firm, his voice steady as he explained their quest to reclaim the dream, believing it held a piece of Neverland's heart that yearned to be free. The keeper tilted its misty head, considering, and the air around them grew colder, the scent of frost mingling with the earthy musk of the forest floor as the night deepened. It warned them that to claim the dream, they must first journey through the Vale of Shadows, a hidden realm within Neverland where forgotten things lingered, trapped between the waking world and the land of slumber. The Vale, it said, was a place of trials, where the mind could play tricks under the cover of darkness, and only those with pure intent could emerge unscathed. Peter nodded, undaunted, his spirit alight with the thrill of adventure, while the moonlight painted his features in silver, highlighting the determination etched into his boyish grin. The keeper raised a shadowy limb, and the circle of stones flared brighter, the blue light spiraling upward like a beacon into the night sky, opening a portal that shimmered with an oily sheen, reflecting distorted images of Neverland's landscapes. Stepping toward it, Peter felt the cool brush of magic against his skin, like the touch of a midnight breeze, and with Tinker Bell at his side, they crossed the threshold, the world behind them fading into a whisper of starlight and shadow. The Vale of Shadows awaited, a labyrinth of twilight where every step echoed with the weight of forgotten dreams, and the air was thick with the scent of ancient moss and the faint, metallic tang of magic long undisturbed. As they ventured deeper, the path beneath their feet turned to a glassy surface, reflecting the endless night above, making it seem as though they walked among the stars themselves, each step rippling the mirrored sky with silent waves. The sounds of the whispering woods were gone, replaced by an eerie stillness, broken only by the occasional sigh of an unseen wind that carried fragments of lost lullabies, melodies that tugged at the edges of Peter's memory. Tinker Bell's light cast faint reflections on the glassy ground, revealing fleeting glimpses of faces and places that seemed both familiar and impossibly distant, as if the Vale held echoes of every night ever spent in Neverland. Peter's heart quickened, not with fear, but with the wonder of exploring a realm so steeped in mystery, where the boundary between reality and reverie blurred under the eternal cloak of evening. Their journey through this strange land had only just begun, and with every step, the magic of the night wove tighter around them, promising challenges and revelations in equal measure. Inside the Vale of Shadows, the world felt like a canvas of endless dusk, where the sky above was a tapestry of deep indigo streaked with threads of silver, as if the stars themselves had been spun into delicate webs. Peter and Tinker Bell moved forward, their surroundings shifting with each step, the glassy path morphing into a meadow of black grass that swayed without wind, its blades whispering secrets of the night in a language too ancient to grasp. The air here carried a peculiar scent, a mix of charred wood and sweet lavender, as though the essence of forgotten campfires and midnight blooms had been trapped in this realm for eons. Strange shapes loomed in the distance, silhouettes of twisted trees and crumbling towers that seemed to flicker in and out of existence, their forms dissolving like mist under the faint glow of Tinker Bell's light. Peter's curiosity burned brighter than ever, his green eyes scanning the horizon for clues, while the cool touch of the shadowy meadow against his bare feet grounded him in this surreal place. As they pressed on, a soft melodic hum began to rise around them, a sound like the distant chime of bells echoing through the twilight, guiding them toward a structure that materialized from the haze. A grand archway carved from obsidian, its surface etched with runes that pulsed faintly, like the heartbeat of the night itself. Passing beneath it, they entered a courtyard where the ground was littered with fragments of mirrored glass, each piece reflecting a different fragment of Neverland's history, shimmering under an unseen moon. Peter knelt to touch one, and a vision flashed before him, a memory of a great celebration under a starlit sky, where laughter rang out and the air was thick with the scent of roasted fruit and honeyed nectar. The vision faded as quickly as it came, leaving him with a lingering sense of longing, as if the dream they sought was tied to these fleeting glimpses of the past. Tinker Bell hovered above the shards, her golden dust scattering over them, and for a moment the reflections seemed to align, forming a map of sorts, pointing toward a distant spire that pierced the horizon like a needle through the fabric of night. But the path was not without danger. Shadowy figures began to emerge from the edges of the courtyard, their forms indistinct, their whispers carrying warnings of trials ahead, their voices blending with the ever-present hum of the veil. Peter felt the weight of their gaze, like a chill breeze on a moonless evening, but his resolve did not waver, for he knew that every challenge in this realm was a step closer to the lost dream. The air grew heavier, the scent of lavender now tinged with something sharper, like the tang of approaching rain, signaling a shift in the atmosphere as they prepared to face whatever test awaited them. The spire loomed larger as they approached, its base surrounded by a moat of liquid shadow that rippled with unseen currents, reflecting the endless twilight above in distorted waves. Peter's mind raced with possibilities, wondering if the dream they sought lay within the spire's walls, guarded by forces as ancient as the night itself. Tinker Bell's light danced nervously, casting fleeting beams across the moat, revealing glimpses of movement beneath its surface, shapes that might have been fish or phantoms, their forms too elusive to discern. The journey through the veil was a puzzle, each piece more intricate than the last, and under the eternal canopy of dusk, Peter felt the magic of Neverland weaving through every moment, binding the past to the present in a tapestry of dreams and shadows. Their path forward was fraught with uncertainty, but with the stars as their witness and the night as their ally, they pressed on, determined to uncover the heart of this mysterious realm. Subscribe for more nightly tales. As they stood before the moat of liquid shadow, Peter noticed a narrow bridge of woven vines stretching across its dark expanse, its surface glistening with dew that caught the faint starlight filtering through the veil's eternal twilight. The bridge creaked under the weight of unseen forces, swaying gently as if breathed upon by the night itself, and the air around it carried the faint scent of wet earth and crushed violets, a reminder of the living magic that pulsed through this strange land. Tinker Bell hovered close, her golden glow revealing tiny runes etched into the vines, pulsing softly like fireflies on a summer evening, as if they held the key to crossing safely. Peter tested the bridge with a cautious step, feeling the vines give slightly under his weight, their texture rough against his bare feet, while the moat below whispered with a low, mournful sound, like the sigh of a forgotten dream. The shadowy shapes beneath the surface stirred, their movements creating ripples that distorted the reflection of the spire above, making it seem as though the tower itself wavered in the night. Halfway across, the bridge trembled, and a gust of icy wind swept through the vale, carrying with it the sharp scent of frost and the distant howl of something ancient and unseen, chilling Peter to the bone. Tinker Bell darted ahead, her light flaring brighter for a moment, illuminating the path to the other side, where the spire's base loomed like a sentinel of the dark, its obsidian walls absorbing all light save for the faint shimmer of embedded crystals that twinkled like stars trapped in stone. Reaching the far bank, Peter felt the ground shift beneath him, a subtle quake that sent a scattering of pebbles rolling down toward the moat, their clatter echoing in the stillness of the twilight realm. The spire's entrance was a cavernous arch, draped in curtains of silvery moss that swayed without wind, their touch cool and damp as Peter brushed them aside, the scent of ancient stone and moss filling his senses. Inside, the air was thick with the weight of time, the walls carved with murals of Neverland's past, depicting battles and celebrations under moonlit skies, their colors faded but still vibrant in the dim glow of Tinker Bell's light. A spiral staircase of black marble wound upward into the darkness, each step worn smooth by countless unseen feet, and as they climbed, the air grew warmer, tinged with a faint aroma of burning incense, a sign that they were nearing something sacred. Strange whispers echoed from above, fragments of voices speaking in tongues long forgotten, their words weaving through the night like threads of a half-remembered lullaby, tugging at Peter's memory. At the top, a vast chamber awaited, its ceiling open to the endless dusk of the vale, where stars seemed to drift closer, casting a soft ethereal light over a pedestal at the center, upon which rested a sphere of swirling mist, the lost dream, pulsing with the heartbeat of Neverland itself. Peter approached, feeling the magic radiate from the sphere, a warmth that contrasted with the cool night air, and as he reached out, the whispers grew louder, warning of a final trial before the dream could be claimed. The spire trembled, the crystals in the walls flaring with sudden light, illuminating the chamber in a kaleidoscope of colors that danced across the stone like reflections of a midnight aurora. Peter's heart raced, not with fear, but with the thrill of standing on the brink of discovery, under a sky that held the secrets of countless evenings, ready to face whatever guardian or test awaited to protect the essence of Neverland's slumbering magic. The chamber within the spire pulsed with an energy that seemed to hum through the very stones, a vibration that echoed the rhythm of the night outside, as if the veil of shadows itself was alive with anticipation. Peter stood before the pedestal, the sphere of swirling mist casting shifting patterns of light and shadow across his face, its surface rippling like a pond under moonlight, reflecting fragments of dreams that flickered and faded before they could be grasped. The air was heavy with the scent of old parchment and crushed herbs, a fragrance that spoke of ancient rituals performed under starlit skies, and the warmth emanating from the sphere contrasted sharply with the cool, damp stone beneath Peter's feet. Tinker Bell hovered near the ceiling, her golden light mingling with the starlight streaming through the open roof, creating a soft halo around the pedestal, as if the night itself was blessing their presence. The whispers that had followed them up the staircase now coalesced into a single voice, deep and resonant, speaking directly into Peter's mind, warning that to claim the dream, he must offer a memory of his own, a piece of his past to balance the scales of magic in this twilight realm. Peter hesitated, his mind racing through countless nights spent soaring over Neverland, laughter under the moon, and battles fought in the glow of dawn, wondering which moment he could bear to part with. The voice grew insistent, the air thickening with the scent of rain on the horizon, a storm brewing in the endless dusk outside, and the sphere pulsed faster, as if urging him to decide before the night turned against them. Tinker Bell chimed softly, her light brushing against Peter's shoulder, a silent reminder of their bond, and he knew then which memory to give. A quiet evening spent with the lost boys, telling stories by a flickering fire under a canopy of stars, the scent of pine and roasted chestnuts in the air, a moment of peace in a life of endless adventure. As he offered the memory, closing his eyes to relive it one last time, the sphere flared with a blinding light, the mist within swirling into a vortex that pulled the memory from his mind, leaving behind a bittersweet ache, like the fading glow of twilight. The voice spoke again, satisfied, and the sphere floated from the pedestal, hovering before Peter, its surface now clear, revealing a vision of Neverland bathed in a golden haze, a dream of unity and joy that had been lost to time. Peter reached out, his fingers brushing the sphere, and a wave of warmth surged through him, carrying the essence of that dream, a promise of hope under the eternal night. The spire trembled once more, the crystals in the walls dimming as the magic settled, and the air grew lighter, the scent of herbs giving way to the fresh, clean aroma of the night after a storm. Peter tucked the sphere close, knowing it held a piece of Neverland's heart, a treasure to be shared with all who dwelled under its starry skies. And with Tinker Bell lighting the way, they began their descent, the weight of their triumph mingling with the quiet of the evening. Their descent from the spire was swift, the black marble staircase echoing with the soft patter of Peter's bare feet and the faint shimmer of Tinker Bell's light, as the air grew cooler, carrying the familiar tang of the vale's shadowy essence, a mix of damp stone and midnight blooms. The chamber's warmth faded behind them, replaced by the crispness of the twilight realm, and as they emerged from the spire's archway, the moat of liquid shadow rippled in greeting, its surface reflecting the endless dusk above, now streaked with faint hints of violet, as if the night itself acknowledged their success. The vine bridge swayed gently as they crossed back over, the runes on its surface glowing softly under Tinker Bell's light, their pulse slower now, as though the magic of the veil was at peace, the scent of wet earth and violets lingering in the air like a farewell. Peter clutched the sphere close, feeling its gentle warmth through his tunic, a reminder of the dream within, a vision of Neverland's unity that pulsed with the heartbeat of countless starry evenings. The shadowy figures that had once lurked at the edges of the courtyard were gone, their whispers silenced, and the mirrored shards on the ground now reflected only the spire and the sky, their fragmented histories at rest under the cloak of night. As they retraced their steps through the black grass meadow, the blades no longer whispered, but swayed in silent rhythm, their tips brushing against Peter's legs like a gentle caress, while the air carried a new scent, fresh and clean, like the promise of a new evening on the horizon. The obsidian archway loomed ahead, marking their path back to the glassy trail, and as they passed beneath it, the hum of the veil softened, becoming a faint lullaby that seemed to guide them onward, blending with the distant chime of unseen bells under the starlit canopy. Peter's mind wandered to the lost boys, imagining their faces when he shared the dream, a tale to be told around a fire on a quiet night, the scent of pine and smoke mingling with their laughter. Tinker Bell darted ahead, her golden dust trailing behind like a comet in the twilight, illuminating the path as it shifted back to glass, reflecting the endless sky above, each step sending ripples through the mirrored surface, as if they walked on the very fabric of dreams. The air grew lighter, the scent of lavender returning, now tinged with the sweetness of wild honey, a sign that they were nearing the portal back to Neverland, where the night awaited with open arms. The veil of shadows seemed to bid them goodbye, its eerie stillness giving way to a gentle breeze that carried fragments of forgotten melodies, a reminder of the magic they had uncovered in this realm of eternal dusk. Peter felt a surge of pride, knowing they had faced the trials of the night and emerged with a treasure beyond gold or jewels, a dream to light up even the darkest evenings. As the portal shimmered into view, its oily surface reflecting the whispering woods beyond, Peter took one last look at the veil, its twilight beauty etched into his memory, a place where the boundary between reality and slumber blurred under the stars. Stepping through, they would return to Neverland, carrying the essence of a lost vision, ready to weave it into the tapestry of their endless nights, a story to echo through the island's heart for generations to come. Back in Neverland, the portal closed behind Peter and Tinker Bell with a soft shimmer, the air of the whispering woods enveloping them once more, rich with the familiar scent of pine and sea salt, carried on a breeze that rustled through the trees under the vast starlit night. The circle of ancient stones stood as they had left it, their blue glow now dimmed to a faint flicker, as if the magic of the Keeper of Echoes had retreated into the shadows of the evening, content with the balance restored. Peter held the sphere aloft, its clear surface catching the moonlight, casting prismatic reflections across the clearing, each beam dancing like a firefly in the dark, while Tinker Bell's golden light mingled with it, creating a spectacle of color against the forest's deep greens and blacks. The dream within pulsed gently, a vision of unity and joy waiting to be shared, and Peter felt its warmth seep into his skin, a promise of brighter nights ahead for all of Neverland's inhabitants. The air was cool against his face, carrying the distant cry of a night bird and the rhythmic crash of waves against the island shores, grounding him in the reality of home after the surreal journey through the veil. He knew the lost boys would be waiting near their hideout, likely huddled under blankets of woven leaves, gazing at the moon through the canopy, wondering where their leader had ventured this time. With a mischievous grin, Peter took to the air, Tinker Bell darting beside him, her chime of excitement blending with the rustle of leaves as they soared over the treetops, the sphere tucked safely in his grasp, its light guiding them through the night sky like a second star. The island below unfolded in a patchwork of silver and shadow, the lagoons reflecting the heavens above, their surfaces rippling with the gentle touch of the evening breeze, while the scent of blooming night flowers wafted upward, sweet and heady. As they neared the hideout, the faint glow of a campfire flickered through the trees, a beacon of warmth in the cool darkness, and Peter could already hear the murmur of voices, the lost boys spinning tales of their own under the watchful gaze of the moon. Landing softly in the clearing, he was met with wide-eyed stares and gasps of wonder, the boys scrambling to their feet, their faces painted with the golden hues of the firelight, eager to hear of his latest adventure. Peter held up the sphere, its dream light casting a soft glow over their circle, and began to recount the journey, through the veil of shadows, past the spire, and into the heart of a forgotten night. His voice weaving a story as captivating as the island itself. The air grew still, the crackle of the fire and the distant hoot of an owl the only sounds accompanying his tale, while the scent of burning wood and roasted berries filled the space, grounding the magic of the moment in the simple comforts of their home. As the dream within the sphere unfolded in his words, a vision of Neverland united under a single starry sky. The lost boys leaned closer, their eyes reflecting the wonder of countless evenings spent in this enchanted land, their laughter and whispers blending with the night. Peter knew this story would become a legend, told and retold on quiet nights like this, a reminder of the magic that thrived in the heart of Neverland, where every shadow held a secret and every star a promise. With the dream now safe among them, the island seemed to sigh in contentment, the moonlight bathing them in silver as they settled in for the rest of the evening, their bond strengthened by the shared vision of a brighter tomorrow.